called the Malkavian Madness Network. And there's a vampire called Tourette and a vampire called Jeanette, which share the same body, and they don't know about each other. And you get into a weird situation where they meet each other, and they have like a very weird moment, and they shout at each other and such. I need to show it to you, it'll probably be funny for you. A vampire named Jeanette and a vampire named Tourette, living in the same body and not instantly knowing they're the same person. Like one of them was in love with her father and the other one wasn't. And one time the father climbed in the bed with the wrong girl, and like that's like the weird side of schizophrenia. It's an interesting thing. You'll probably enjoy it. And I also need to show you the yatta thing. I can't believe that you haven't seen that. I literally can't believe it. So yeah, that's our notes for the morning. This is Cyan and Gemini Wolf doing a shared reading and a shared conversation. This is set 2 and I believe part 3. This is part 2.
Part 3 or 4?
I think it's 3.
3, yeah.
I think it's 3. Could be some other.
Oh, 3, yeah.
So yeah.
But I was saying in the car that I was feeling some strong sadness from my aunt over there. And I thought that because I recognized he has cancer, or he may, that I thought I had given it because I became aware of that. I thought that I had given it to him. I thought I created that reality. And then he felt sadness because I thought that way.
Yep.
I was about ready to cry, but my tough manliness wouldn't let me cry.
Yeah. I sense he's also somewhat sad at me at the moment. But that's probably a fairly strong aspect of it. Maybe he's on his period. Nah. We could probably also watch the end of season 1 of Goddess. We could probably do that as well.
Do I feel like I'm releasing my hooks to my mom, or?
Yeah, you feel like you're going through that work and you're getting into a mindset where you can like understand that she's old and she has kind of a dementia and it's sad, and like get to a balance with it. I feel that instead of like, oh gosh, she's so angry at me, that's uncomfortable. And I feel you getting to like a calm place with it.
If he comes here, he'll harvest earlier, won't he?
Probably earlier than his home world, it would seem. I feel like I want to drink one of those energy drinks, but I've had enough calories for like a day.
You ate a lot.
I ate a lot. 2 hamburgers, medium drink, medium fries, shake, and 6 nuggets. That was a huge meal.
I was telling Aki here in the store that I imagine if a person was this anthro, and I saw him for the first time, it actually scared me.
Yeah, you were saying that you're thinking that everybody in the store is the anthro, and that you're like really scared of it.
Well, the good-looking people.
Yeah, you were telling that. I feel like the store clerk who helped us was probably an anthro.
Would I be more scared that, oh, it actually worked, or would I be scared that it's really an anthro, or would I be scared that I don't know.
I don't know, it's hard to say.
If I had that much trouble, if I would have that much trouble asking him if he's
Yeah.
trying to confirm with him, if he's shy, he's gonna have a problem.
Yeah. I did sense like the store clerk who helped us was an anthro. I did get a strong sense of that. The guy who showed us around the store. I got a strong sense
Am I
of that.
attracting anthros now?
Yeah, a little. I got a sense of him being like a puppy dog and you yelling him from behind, like, a weird sense of that, but
He probably doesn't know he's an anthro though.
Yeah, it feels like that, but he was fairly highly spiritually aware. Now everybody's gonna go to the store and start bothering the clerks. Which one was it that helped these two people? We want to interrogate the uncle. You know what I mean? Nah, that's not gonna happen. I'm not that schizophrenic. They're hunting me, man. Right side still hasn't opened up even though I've ate and relaxed. Still locked up in the neck. The other psychics listening to this must be charmed listening to the background voices and noises and nature and such. Must be charming for them to listen to that kind of stuff. Like what are the auric background sounds of these particular psychics? Must be like fascinating.
Oh yeah.
To me it was always fascinating that when Ra talked of the levels of the three original channelers, they get like cars in the background and horns and such. That was always fascinating to me.
You listened to the audio?
No, there was like a text reading on the thing like car horn and so on.
I think I heard a text of her, she's like, and we went, it was like that.
Yeah.
The channeling was real slow and
yeah, that'd be really difficult for me to do. I like this type of channeling.
Yeah.
I like this. This is very easy, very comfortable.
I'm sure this is less taxing on you than it was for Carla.
Yeah, probably very much less taxing.
Well, she gave up her body and
yeah,
Ra came in.
Yeah. And then she died, and I feel like she had a rape on her and weird stuff like that. Must have been very hard on her. Smells like somebody's having a barbecue.
Yeah.
And I just ate.
Is it a little nauseating?
Yeah, it's a little nauseating, but it's also making me hungry again. And I don't want to be hungry again. That burger was really good, and after I ate it, the Big Mac tasted like cardboard.
Yeah.
It was a really dry taste. It wasn't juicy at all. The very last bits were juicy, but everything else was very unjuicy.
You don't have it in your pocket?
I do have it here somewhere.
Oh, go. That. Okay.
We bought the audio plug for the laptop. Now we just have to hope that your mother accepts it without flipping off.
Does being in a relationship increase your confidence?
When it's a healthy relationship, absolutely. There are the types of relationships that have like gaslighting in them, you know what I mean? The term gaslighting.
I've heard of that.
Or you know.
You try to set the other person up for something?
You try to basically constantly undermine their sense of self. And like are constantly critical and like questioning of their sense of self. That's gaslighting.
I'm not the type of person that would gaslight him, am I?
I don't think so. I'm gonna go get my energy drink. I want it. I want it, even though it will make me fat. Fat. I'll be back. This is the last one, by the way.
That's fine. I'm not drinking that much anyway, because this spiritual work, I drink a lot of water.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start doing that again as well. I had a weird sense when I woke up that I'd had a heart attack during the night. I had a weird sense of that. The bee is very intently sniffing your drink. Hope it doesn't go in the can.
There's no drink up there.
Hmm.
I had one before.
All right. Did you put it like in the freezer or something, or did you drink it entirely?
No, I set it inside on that trunk, I think.
Okay.
I wonder when he makes a decision to come, if that works out, if I'll feel it immediately, like, he's coming.
Yeah, that's a good question. It's possible that you'll feel it immediately, but it probably depends on like your spiritual attunement to the situation. That helped a little, but not much.
Is there a god of discomfort? Because I feel like he's...
Yeah.
I feel a little uncomfortable sitting here in these chairs.
Yeah. We've been sitting here in these hard chairs for a very long time in the past few days. Like I said in the car, my butt feels all sore.
Yeah.
And I had to lie down and push the chair back and go like, magic carpet ride. I had to do that. It was very hard. But it feels like we're finally getting to a good exhaustive point in our like spiritual working and such. That we're getting to a good point where it's comfortable to become exhausted. Railing each other hard.
Should I keep my hope up for if it takes 10 years for 10 years?
There's probably some fairly sensible limit of time, but you should probably keep your hope up for at least a while. It's taken me and Skull 10 years and we still haven't advanced to the point of actual sex. I've gotten to the top of her knees, some part of her, isn't this called thigh muscle?
Yeah.
Or some part of her thigh, and I've gotten a flash of her tush. That's as far as I've gotten. With your anthro, you have somewhere along the lines of ankles currently.
Yeah.
You're slowly ascending from the feet. So it doesn't necessarily become a bad thing that it takes your entire lifetime and you have sex when you die, you know? It's
Yeah.
not necessarily a bad thing. So it's completely up to you. You know, it's taken me 10 years with Skald, and it took me like 15 years with Beldandy, you know what I mean?
Oh.
So, you know, they're kind of upset that it's taking me so long, but they understand it. What do you call the organ on the woman that produces the egg?
The ovaries?
Ovaries, yeah, there we go.
You set him up to his ankles. Is that like how worthy I feel?
How much he's allowing your sexualities to mix.
Oh.
You know, how much of him you actually know. Knees are usually associated with parents, and you don't like know his parental structure, and you don't know like how he's with his family, but you know the basic things about his society and his like way of life and so on, and that's like up to the ankles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely not like as promiscuous as humans, I think.
Mm-hmm. I do kind of feel like that as well. He is, however, somewhat promiscuous. Beautiful butterfly. Why would I disagree? Sail the world on 7 seas. Why would I ever disagree? World is made of cheese. Everybody's looking for some nuts.
I was practicing the smelling with pictures of cheese the other day.
Yeah,
Yesterday. Like a 2.5 out of 10 smell. I'm at a 2.5. When I don't smell the anthro in a sexual way. I just try to get an idea of his overall aura.
Yeah. It would probably, it could help, but it's also probably perhaps too early for you to intensely imagine an entire sexual session with him without masturbation. Like go through all the steps and then like imagine you having an orgasm but not actually having an orgasm.
Yeah.
That may actually be helpful. I do that with my spirits fairly
Does that
often.
increase your psychic touch?
Yeah, you become very in tune to the other person when you're imagining yourself.
Well,
having
wouldn't that
sex.
be pushing on? Wouldn't that be stepping into this field a little too personally?
Yeah, it's possible that it's too personal. That's why I said it's probably too early. But the idea is there, like going through the entire steps and noticing if his body automatically likes it or dislikes it, and you can like sense the thing. And you know, going with that. But it's probably too early. It would feel like almost sex on the first date. It would almost feel like that. Probably be a little too early. Wow, that is a huge spider. That white thing there. There. It's now behind the leaves. The bug got caught in its web, but he couldn't get it in time and the bug flew away. It was about the size of my thumb.
Why doesn't he try to have sex with me then?
Probably feels like it's too early, or feels like his energies wouldn't get through to you at the moment.
Oh.
That's one of the reasons. I would probably wait a few months and then do that exercise, or even wait the 9 months and then do that exercise. You could wait 9 months and then start doing that exercise every now and then fairly intently. It would probably ground you well into his sexual energies, but I don't know, it could be like offensive. I do that very often with the women I have crushes on. I intently go through the psychic energy exchange thing, and it's very pleasurable.
Yeah.
It's very pleasurable. It feels like I'm not cheating on anybody because it's all in my mind and it's all in the energy and so on. It feels very pleasurable.
Well, anthro energy is so dense that it's really hard to get the energies flowing.
Yeah. He may not be very skilled in spiritual affairs, but able to do them. Like he maybe makes like a lot of very simple mistakes in your eyes, like causes harm to people by accident. That's kind of like what I'm sensing right now, that he may be prone to doing that. Things like he's healing somebody and does harm, you know, stuff like that.
Oh.
You know the little tongue at the back of the mouth, the thing that hangs from?
The uvula.
It's called uvula?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a very perverted name. Reminds me of something related to the vagina. I've a couple of times had such a bad flu that it's swollen so much that it's been like the length of like the middle finger.
Yeah.
And it's been resting on my tongue, so every time I swallow it goes back, and then when I go forward it rests on my tongue again and continues to like feel like something's in my mouth. You know, I've had that bad a flu. It was very uncomfortable.
It feels dense, but I feel a lot of peace coming from him, like he's resting or something.
Yeah. He's probably resting. I would get that sense from him.
Is that an invasion of privacy, just checking in on him?
Not while you're intently wanting to be in a relationship, but you do eventually like need to ask at some point, like, is it okay if I check up on you, like without asking specifically every time and stuff like that. But in general, when you're aiming for a relationship and both parties know it, it's much more allowed to like do things and check up on the person and so on, but I would still confirm it to be safe.
Yeah.
Like, I have to check with Skull that it's okay that I watch Lindsay Sterling's music videos, you know?
Yeah.
I have to check that it's okay with her, that I don't want to, like, cause her to feel cheated on.
Will my psychic sight or whatever get good enough where I could, with his permission, actually watch him?
Yeah, I'd probably get there when you train enough. I don't see why that would be impossible.
Tomorrow we can probably do some talking, but not as intently, probably because I need to rest up before the day. I leave the day after.
Yeah.
On my road trip.
Yeah, that's good. I would agree strongly. I hope I get along with Loki. I feel like he's a good boy. I'll get along.
He's getting friendlier, you know.
Yeah, he's definitely making friends with me and making the effort. You know, he's doing things like when I'm sitting in the chair and I go like Loki, he gets up and starts walking towards me very often. When I like just want to scratch him and go like Loki and wave my hand in the air, he like walks next to me and I scratch him for a moment and he walks away. You know, stuff like that. He's definitely becoming friendlier. He's also obeying me occasionally when I say like Loki harshly when he's doing something wrong, but not always.
If he's got something in his mouth, just say drop it. I trained him to drop whatever's in his mouth.
Yeah, but he probably won't listen to me.
Yeah.
Just hope he doesn't eat like the remote when you're gone or something weird like that.
Yeah.
Start eating the computer mouse. That'll probably happen if I forget to feed him. He'll probably like out of pure spite eat a computer or something. That'll probably happen. But I sincerely doubt that I'll forget to feed him. It's probably like the first thing I do when I wake up is probably put a bowl of food for him.
As long as you feed him and water him, if anything happens, I'm not going to blame you or anything.
Yeah.
Just as long as you try.
Yeah.
I just imagine him resting and it feels so adorable.
Mm-hmm. He does exude a good energy when he's resting. That's a fairly good energy.
The emotions I'm feeling are probably coming from him since because of our strong connection, aren't they? Not some other
Yeah, it
guide or whatever.
Seems likely. It's also possible that you're occasionally sensing your talpa, but it seems fairly likely that if you keep this up, it's possible your talpa and he may even merge into the same personality or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But I would say it's probable that you're sensing him instead of some random spirit interference. Due to your strong desire to be in contact with him and your strong development of psychic abilities in combination with a good defense.
His sense of peace is interesting. It's a heavier peace than us, but it's still peace.
Mm-hmm. It's a deeper sleep.
Do a lot of people work as hard as what I am to find somebody without really, before they even meet?
Yeah. A lot of people put a lot of effort into relationships.
Your chakras have to be pretty clear to feel energy, don't they?
Yeah, there can be individual blocks, but the majority of the chakra has to be like healthy, balanced, open and clear. Or like majority of it, but you do sense like the blocks you have and the hang-ups you have and the damage your chakras have. Like my third chakra clearly has like a knife cut on its top. Like a cut from the top to the center, like a knife cut.
Yeah.
But it doesn't prevent me from doing spiritual work, but it sometimes makes me more inaccurate. Like afraid in a way that makes me attach myself to the information unhealthily. But I do notice it. My third eye chakra, for example, isn't as clear as it should be because I do a lot of drugs. But overall, they seem healthy and like happy and content and so forth.
I don't do drugs, so I should develop some clear psychic abilities.
Yeah, you do CBD and you did alcohol. I consider both of them to be drugs. I also consider coffee to be a drug.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
so in that sense, you do them. Feels like around 50 minutes where we are.
40.
Okay.
You said 50?
Yeah, I said 50.
Yeah.
I'm getting better at estimating the time, but I'm still off by quite a lot.
Well, when you get in a channeling state, your sense of flow of time.
Yeah. It becomes completely different. Sometimes I talk for a very long time and I don't really notice it. I'm like intently talking about something I like to talk about.
When you're tuned into their world, are you kind of more in their time?
I think so, probably.
But their time is so different from ours. It's not like 1 second here is 1,000 years over there.
Yeah, but it does seem like their time goes faster than our time.
Oh.
Like, I'm definitely losing more time than I thought I would be losing in talking about their world. It seems like there's a translative gap that their time advances faster than ours. It at least seems like that with how fast they did the technical developments and things like that. How fast they shifted their factories and weird things like that. It seems like their time goes faster than ours. Which is weird because they also have a longer lifespan. Probably need to clean this bong again fairly soon. I'm probably gonna smoke one more base, then we can go inside. I feel like I want to continue the recording for a moment longer.
What image do you want me to use on these recordings?
You could go like futuristic city and find like the best looking like green futuristic cityscape and use that one. That feels like it would be accurate.
Okay.
What do you think? What would you use?
Are you talking about the can't remember, Holy Terra?
Yeah, I'm talking more about in terms of a lot of wind turbines in the background and stuff like that. We haven't discussed much of Holy Terra and the Warhammer mythos on record, and we talked in the car that we could probably talk about those things on record so we don't like leave out the negative stuff and try to like purify the information, which will probably just degrade the quality. We talked about that in the car.
Yeah.
Like that we could talk about Slanesh and all those things. There are probably still registered at least a couple of people on Bringforth who know who Slanesh is, and we're like at some point worshippers of Slanesh.
Have you heard of role playing where two people get into a chat and they have sex over?
Yeah, I've heard of that. I have heard of that.
It's like after the role play, after you've done it a while, they lose respect for you.
Yeah.
They stop talking to you, and
Yeah, that's very often what happens. You have to be like sure you want to stay in the energies, and it's a lot of work to get them to stay in your energy field and so on. That's kind of like what happened with the American Girl and me, you know.
Yeah.
We had like that kind of experience. We started falling out afterwards, and then we like occasionally connected, and over the years grew back like into a very good like friendship model, and then she died, which is very sad.
So if I meet him, is he gonna harden me, and I'm gonna soften him a little bit?
Yeah, you'll probably find some kind of middle ground between the both of you, and you'll both enjoy living there. The middle ground is probably the first child's energies, if you ever have a child, like instead of your own energies. If you don't have a child, the energy will probably incarnate somewhere else, but the middle ground is generally speaking the energy plateau of the first child, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I feel anyway.
I have anthro energy in me too, because I tried to transform myself into an anthro, and I stopped when my body was in pain.
Yeah.
So I have an overlay of that energy.
On our world, it's probably a painful process to turn into some kind of other creature, but it's not necessarily always like that.
Oh.
The energies in our world in terms of technical abilities and technological skills are probably very limited in that facet, so you don't get much help. But you would probably have changed eventually if you kept doing the work and like develop more of an anthro style and like attributes of an anthro, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For example, that you would probably run with like your feet like dented in a way like dogs do on their
I
paws.
walked on my tiptoes before,
Yeah.
It's happened sometimes just naturally.
Yeah, but you would probably start to do things like that intentionally and very always pay like attention to the smell of the place when you walk in and weird things like that.
Yeah.
You would probably get a lot of anthro influences.
Have you ever wanted to be something else?
Oh yeah, many times. That's like the essence of role-playing games. You want to be somebody else. When you when you talk of your like experiences trying to be an anthro, I get like a sense of Skald talking about her experiences on trying to be my girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
I get a distinct sense of like the same kinds of events, so there's like a strong emotional contact to be like honest and forthright when I respond, because I have like my own cow in the ditch, as they say in Finnish, you know. I have my own like agenda to answer honestly and such, because I wouldn't want to corrupt my thing with Skald, and I'd want to get like pure good answers myself. Yeah.
Their time goes faster, so either he's been sleeping a long time, or I just haven't let enough time pass, but he still feels peaceful.
Yeah, it doesn't probably pass in the way that when you sleep for 8 hours there, you know, we're gone for like 5 minutes here. That's probably not the level of the time discrepancy, so that he'll still feel peaceful for hours and hours until he wakes up.
Yeah.
That would be what you feel, I think.
It feels really good. I love feeling his peace.
Yeah, it's very calm sleeping next to somebody.
Do you feel his peace too, or not?
I do feel the peace, but the strongest sleep-related peace I've had here is when you're sleeping in the chair next to the sofa where I sleep.
Yeah.
And I feel like the peace of your sleep like exuding from you. That's a very peaceful sensation. You have a very good deep sleep.
Do I snore a lot?
No, you don't ever snore, like very rarely. And your snoring isn't that loud. I, on the other hand, snore like a wildebeest occasionally.
Does your snoring ever wake you up? And then you're
Sometimes-
like, oh, I snored.
Sometimes I snore on my back and I can feel through the dream that I'm snoring. Sometimes in the home I snore so loudly that the other people wake me up and tell me to go sleep somewhere else. You know, occasionally things like that happen. When I go back to the home, I'm gonna be tired for like 2 months straight because I can't get enough sleep there. I'm gonna have like an experience of occasionally getting enough sleep on the boat or in one of those cheap motels, but I'm not gonna be able to get enough sleep in the place. I'm like distinctly aware of that.
I keep thinking, what if he gets here and he mistakes somebody else for me, and he's like, he approaches them. I don't know if they go through all that trouble and make that big of a mistake.
It's possible, but I sincerely doubt it. It would require something along the lines of a psychosis on his part. It's possible that he'll incarnate here and you'll find a boyfriend at the same time, and just to keep supporting you, he'll get a boyfriend at the same time, just to like mirror you successfully and support you successfully.
Oh.
So that's a possibility. Sometimes when you develop strong emotions for someone, the moment you start connecting with somebody else astrally, they at that immediate moment get like a spouse. You know, sometimes that happens. So it's like a signal that you have to remain committed to your partner, even if it's just a thought.
Yeah.
You can't like actually like cheat in energy, because you'll be bad for it. You can't like, you can have an energy transfer, but you can't go like be my girlfriend to somebody when you're already in a relationship, even though it's astral relationship, because you know it'll cause bad things to happen. I've noticed that to come true in my case many times. Still learning it. Like when I was into Maisie, and for a while I was into Scarlett, and the moment I said to Scarlett that I want to like be with her, and we had like a meeting where we saw like Korean police, and she explained to them that she's gonna go hump me, the same moment Maisie Williams got a boyfriend. And when I realized that she was actually interested in me because of the same time similarity, and I was to Scarlett like, I like you, but I have to do this cult thing first. Almost exactly at that time, Maisie broke up with her boyfriend. You know, it happened at almost exactly the same time. It was a weird experience for me. That was definitely a warning sign not to push it.
I'm amazed that the peace is just this long lasting, because usually energies are fickle.
Mm-hmm. That's the energy of somebody sleeping, definitely.
Yeah.
It's if you haven't been around it before, it's very relaxing. The energy of somebody sleeping like close to you, it's very relaxing. It's almost hypnotic. It's a very good, comfortable feeling. You know. It's one of the reasons I live at the home, and I like it, because I like sleeping like close to somebody or like in a group. I don't like sometimes like sleeping alone, and I like to sleep when other people are awake.
If you get your apartment, are you gonna get a roommate?
Nah, I'm gonna live alone. I'm used to it by now. It's really hot out here. Then again, I'm wearing a sweater, so you know. So I'm thinking of coming over again in October.
But you'll be a zombie then.
Yeah, I'll be a zombie, but I'll eventually clear through the medicine long before the 3-month limit. And being here and being in the sun and smoking and like bathing in water and doing a lot of those kinds of exercises will draw the thing away from me fairly quickly, but it'll still bother me for like at least a month.
Yeah. Do you think I'll move up to his knees before you come back?
Probably not. She'll probably be somewhere in the calf region with like a flash of the knee here and there.
Oh.
but she'll probably go to the knee before the end of this year, or before you've known him for a year. You'll probably advance to the knee before that, or like around that time, possibly before that.
What happens when you get to the top of the head? What does that
You're
mean?
the same person. You're like literally physically on every level the same person. You're slowly advancing through the centers.
Oh,
You will merge and become one unified, glorious being.
but you have to meet the person, don't you, before that?
It's all very relative. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's possible that you'll never meet in flesh and then merge with them nonetheless, like I sometimes do with my computer game characters. I sometimes get to the top of the head and feel like I was this character entirely through this mission or journey. Like happened with the Mass Effect character.
Can an astral encounter be more real than a physical encounter?
Oh yeah, you can get a distinct sense of it being more real. I didn't get to the top of the head with the Mass Effect character, but I got to the very top of the third eye.
Oh.
Like very top of the third eye. Then I jumped into this beam that unifies all energy in the galaxy and creates a new kind of like life that's both artificial and like biological, like machine-like and biological, and then like every being in the galaxy became that new kind of being, and everybody helped each other, and it was a very like fluffy ending for me, like after a very long hard journey of getting to know different energies and so on. It was a very pleasant thing.
I wonder if a species sleeps a lot like dogs do. Like 14 hours a day.
He probably sleeps less than the average member of his species, but his species, as a general rule, sleeps a little more than humans, or at least like dozes off more than humans, gets
Yeah.
into like a half sleep state, like more than humans. There's a distinct like scent of the Avatar movie about the anthro.
Oh.
It's not as strong and living in the jungle and being huge cat-like beasts, but there's distinctly a smell of the movie's mindset there that they like kind of recognize themselves in the movie and go like, huh, you know what I mean? That's like a distinct sense, you know. That's what I feel. Bee kind of creature. Yeah, flew away. Like a wasp. One of those red wasps. There was a nasty story online about a woman who had like intermittent orgasms for no reason, and she felt like they started to bother her life, and she went to the doctors, and the doctors figured out that her husband liked to use ranch dressing as a lubricant for sex, and that had attracted maggots to her vagina.
Oh.
And the maggots were eating the diseased and dead flesh in there, and that was giving her uncontrollable orgasms. Can you imagine that level of hygiene?
Oh.
Dear God. Just, wow. That's incredible. Wow. I really feel like kind of bad for people like that.
Or a botfly burrows into their eye.
Yeah. Like that one lady that had like fly eggs in her eyelid. That was like very uncomfortable. And the fish that swims up your urethra, you know.
Yeah.
Weird animals that do weird, very painful things. My butt is getting really sore in this chair.
At least the chair's not tearing and collapsing.
Yeah. That was a weird chair. I broke both of your garden chairs by sitting on them, like in a fairly short period of time.
I'm heavier than you, and they didn't break when I sat on them.
Yeah, I have a pointy butt. You have like a very round, plump butt. I'm pointy.
I was thinking of something, but it's pretty personal to him.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if he'd want me to know.
You feel like telling?
I don't know if spying on him while he's sleeping is.
Yeah. Nah, I think it's probably good. You're lovingly watching him while he sleeps and making sure he has good dreams. That's like the job of a good guide, you know what I mean?
Oh.
You being like a good guide on him, I feel that. And I think he probably understands that you don't like always check before you check on him, you know?
Yeah.
I think he probably understands that. He's probably like complimented about the fact that you're watching him sleep. I think. But that's just my intuition.
Does he have a bubble butt like humans do, or is it flat like?
Round butt, bubble butt.
Oh.
Very much like the butt of the anthrone thing.
Oh. Okay.
Much more toned and perhaps a little bit bigger. Perhaps.
Does he work his butt?
Yeah. He does all the crunch muscles and such.
This is all surreal. It feels almost like a delusion, you know?
Yeah. Like I said, I am warning you not to like give into it too much because it can trigger a psychosis and it can be in a way psychotic. But as long as you feel grounded in the thing that it's possible that it's also just a fantasy, you'll probably do fine. When you start to like truly believe that it's real, like without the possibility of it being a fantasy, is usually when you get into trouble or become really spiritual. It like depends on what your mindset is. Like me, for example, I have to consciously understand that what I see is real, that it's not just a fantasy, that I'm actually seeing these entities interact with me.
Yeah.
You know, I have to like consciously put in the effort to it.
He probably knows when he sleeps that sometimes I'll be looking in on him.
Yeah. still have the Subway bread and the burrito thing.
Yeah.
You can have the burrito. I don't want it.
Yeah.
It's like it was tasted wild to me. I'll eat the Subway bread, but not right now. Still digesting hugely. Almost hit my face with the lighter. I'll do at least one of those battlefield air flights and ask one of the Anthro pilots to accompany me.
Oh.
I want to do that. I want to see what happens.
See how their reflexes. Dogs have excellent reflexes.
Mm-hmm. In most sci-fis I've watched, species that have developed from dogs get a bonus in space combat. Like in Masters of Orion.
They have games with dog anthros?
Well, Master of Orion has the Mershan, which are clearly like a species developed from dogs.
Oh.
You pick them, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And they are basically a dog species in space, like wolves or dogs or something.
Yeah.
They look kind of like foxes, like space foxes. There's also a game called Space Foxes or Space Fox.
Star Fox.
Star Fox. There we go. You know, that's it. It does happen in like games where that they pick up on anthros being good pilots, for example.
Yeah.
That stuff happens. They do pick those things up. They didn't really know where it comes from, but they know that when you think of a dog fighting in space, it's probably gonna have a really good spatial like direction and sense around it, even though there's like no scientific evidence to back that up, but it's still, people still feel that way.
Yeah.
Because the anthro races probably are like that, and that's projecting the idea to us. I don't know. That's what I feel like.
Did you say they've colonized a couple planets in their solar system?
Yeah.
Or?
They have colonies spread out over the solar system, and they have them on their asteroid belts and some of the other planets, and they do have a few colonies spread out over space and into other star systems, but mostly when you find a colony of them distant from their origin, they've been taken there by another race instead of them developing naturally and getting there the same way we do with dogs. Like some dog packs have developed very advanced abilities and like have colonized cities, you know, stray dogs living in Chernobyl comes to mind. But usually when you find a dog in a nuclear reactor, it's been taken there by a human, you know what I mean?
Oh.
You know, it's not like casually wandering to a nuclear reactor and going like, nuclear fuel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm perhaps overplaying how integrated they are into other species because they are very independent-minded species. I'm perhaps projecting the idea that they're like the puppy dog pet civilization of the universe. You know, I'm perhaps projecting that idea when they are in fact like quite martial in their attitude. Like, I would have to point out that humans have trillions upon trillions of humans living on other planets. Some of them have been taken there by aliens, and some of them have developed there, like, from human colonies long ago. But that we also have, like, a huge amount of basically life spread out all over the universe. That we aren't any more a pet civilization than they are. I should probably point that out. You're gonna have to print out a map to the mailbox for me. You're gonna have to do that. And print out the instructional pamphlet or whatever that you're working on that has all the things that we've been talking about. And your mother needs to show me how to wash and clean the air conditioner in case it starts to like truly complain. She needs to do that. it's currently complaining about something, and she said that she's gonna show me how to clean it like properly, and that's about the size of it. I don't think there's much else to remember. The people in the psychiatric department that oversee me are going to switch my medication from a 1 month injectable into a 3 month injectable, and the dose is going to be 20% higher than it's like what I'm at currently. And while I'm living here, I'm not even eating the oral antipsychotics I have with me. I don't like them. They make me feel like a zombie. So that's why Gemini said that when I come back, I'm going to be like a zombie, because this time they're going to inject me with the thing before I leave, so I'll have the antipsychotic on for the entire time. That's what he meant. Felt like I needed to clarify that. I'm ready to go inside.
Oh, good.
How long was the recording?
Hour 14 minutes.
Nice.